Okay, get started in about a minute. In about a minute, we'll get started. All right, here we go. Any questions on that worksheet?
Nope.
Cool. All right, I'm going to warn you today is a little challenging. I'm going to give you a procedure. It's going to be a different thing. Part of it's easy, part of it's more challenging. On Monday and Tuesday of next week, you guys are going to be here to take your CMAS test, and then we will pick back up on Wednesday. I might even do a review day on Wednesday simply because we're coming back and maybe you've forgotten some things. We'll see. Regardless of that, we only got what 4 sections left next week to finish up chapter 12, and then we'll take our chapter 12 test. All right, here's your homework for tonight. It must be complicated because there's only 5 questions. It's one of those ones that just simply takes you some time to do. As always, when you're doing something new and a little bit unfamiliar, if you could play the video while you're doing your homework, just to explain the individual steps, that could be helpful for some of you. Okay, here we go. Ooh, scary words. Frequency distribution. All right, big fancy words. It's not as bad as it sounds. This is actually pretty simple, but it is new. I'm sure you've never done this before. And when we get to the more challenging part, I'll slow down and make sure that everybody understands. All right, so far in this chapter, we've taken data, we've made bar graphs, we've made line graphs, and in the last couple classes, we've done measures of central tendency. That was your mean, median, and mode. We also did range as well, too. There are more complicated graphs. This is kind of like the pause before we see some of those. And to do the more complicated graphs, sometimes you have to arrange the data. In other words, you just don't take the numbers at random and just somehow create something. Sometimes you have to arrange the data before you make a physical product, a graph or a plot. And one way of doing that is called a frequency distribution table. And basically all it does is takes all the numbers of a data set and puts it in a specific order. And that order, you won't see it today, but that order will help you make a more complicated graph or plot. All right, so the only thing we're doing today is making a frequency table. But once we make that frequency table, the frequency table itself is pretty easy to create. But then we're going to find the mean, the median, the mode, and the range by looking at a frequency table. And of those 4, only one of them, and it's the median, is slightly challenging. The mean isn't too bad, but the median is a little bit challenging. So let's write this down in our notes. So today we're making frequency tables. So a frequency table is a table that shows how often a number appears in the data set. In other words, how many times does 1 appear in the data set? How many times does 2 appear in the data set? 3, 4, so forth and so on. That will be arranged in a table. And that table is called a frequency table. Frequency table, a table that shows how often a number appears in a data set. And as always for e-learning, if I start going too fast, you guys need to stop me and say, I need more time to copy this down. Frequency table, a table that shows how often a number appears in a data set. So the first task we're going to do is simply make the table. That's actually the easiest part. All right, so frequency table construction. It starts off with a horizontal line. It starts off with two vertical lines. So we have now made a table that has three columns. I'm about to sneeze. Has three columns. The first column will be labeled the number, and I'm going to put an X. It'll make sense here once we do this. The second column is going to say frequency, and it has an F for frequency. And the last column is, well, we're going to multiply those two together, X times F. That's what our frequency table will look like. There is one more part. At the very bottom, you're going to draw another horizontal line, and you're going to write the word total. Now, we're not going to total the first column. We're going to total the second and the third column. In other words, you're going to add up all the numbers in column F and in the last column. And that is your frequency table. Now, obviously, we're going to fill this in with some numbers from a data set, but that's the basic construction of your frequency table. Three columns. Column one will be the numbers. The middle column will be how many times those numbers appear in the data set. And then the last column, you're going to multiply the first two columns together. In other words, the numbers of those. The very bottom, you're going to add things. You're going to add the middle column, and you're going to add the last column. Once all that's done, you have made a frequency table. So we'll start off by making a couple frequency tables, and then we'll move on to the second part, which is find the mean, the median, mode, and the range if they give you a frequency table. All right, any questions so far? By the way, the book does a pretty good job. I mean, you can thumb through it, and they give you a really good example of frequency tables. We're only going to do 3 of these examples. If you'd like to just watch instead of fill out, that's fine. As long as you tell me you're going to play the video while you're doing your homework, or have the book open while you're doing your homework, so that there's no confusion in case you forget something. So we're going to make 3 tables. 3 tables. Once those tables are made, we're going to use those tables the second part of the class to calculate the mean, the median, and the mode, and the range. Okay, so let's do one. 3 examples. Well, there's our data set. So our data set, it starts off with 9, goes all the way to 4. And let's see how many numbers we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 numbers. So this one isn't too bad. Typically, if you're doing this in real life, you may have a data set of 1,000 numbers or 1,000,000 numbers. So your frequency table can get complicated if you're doing it by hand. All right, so we make those columns, we make those rows. The first column are our numbers. Our first column are our numbers. So here's the issue. The issue is that you need to look at your data set and find the smallest and the biggest number. So our smallest number, let's see, our smallest number is what, 4? And our biggest number is 10. So our numbers that go right here need to go from 4 to 10, from 4 to 10. Okay, everybody see what I did there? From 4 to 10. Your middle column is going to be your frequencies, and that's how many times those numbers appear in the data set. And then obviously your last one is those 2 numbers multiplied together. At the very bottom, we're going to do our totals. All right, so that first column, once again, I'm going to say it for a second time. We find our smallest number, we find our biggest number, and those are the numbers that we're going to put right here in red. So I'm going to have from 4 all the way up to 10, from 4 all the way up to 10. So 4 all the way up to 10. You see what I did there? Our second column says frequency. The definition of a frequency table is how many times do the numbers appear in our data set? So how many times do you see a 4? I see a 4 1 time. How many times do you see a 5? I see a 5 2 times. Oh, I'm sorry. I went ahead and filled out that next column there. 4 times 1 is 4. How many times do you see a 5? I see it 2 times. 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Is anyone lost on where I'm getting those numbers from?
Just a little bit.
Okay, what's the next number we have to look for, Danny?
Um, Six,
How many sixes do you see in the data set?
1,
And what is 6 times 1?
6.
You did it perfectly.
That this kind of seems easy.
It is, I said making the table is pretty easy. Can you make a mistake? You sure can. How many sevens do you see?
But is this what the homework is?
For making the frequency table, yes. But then they're going to ask you to calculate the mean, median, mode, and range. That's the more complicated part.
Okay.
All right, so how many sevens do you see?
4.
And 4 times 7 is 28. I'll finish the rest. Hey, look, there are no eights. There are 0 eights. 8 times 0 is 0. There are, let's see, 1, 2, 3 nines. 9 times 3 is 27, and there's 110. You're almost done with the table because the only thing left to do is simply add. We're going to add up all the numbers in the F column. So 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 is 4, plus 4 is 8, plus 3 is 11, plus 1 is 12. So I get a 12. I add up all the numbers in the last one. I'll just give you the answer here. It's 85. All we're doing is adding, and you are now done. You have made a frequency table. You have made a frequency table. So that's the easy part, making a frequency table. The more challenging part is to find the mean, median, mode, range. All right. If you need to write this down, write this down. Remember, to calculate the mean, we add up all the numbers and divide by how many numbers we get. Well, take a look at what you've already done. You've already added up all the numbers, and you've already found how many numbers there are. There are 12 numbers. So to calculate the mean, it will be this column, I'll do this in blue, it will be this column divided by this column. In other words, 85 divided by 12. So for those of you that need to write it down, or more specifically, well, how do you calculate the mean? It's the total of the XF column divided by the F column total. That sounds way complicated, right? All it really means is divide 85 by 12. That's where you'll find the mean. It's 85 divided by 12. That's where the mean comes from. So if you need to write that down, write that down. The mean is easy if they give you a frequency table. It's not complicated. Although the mean, doing it by hand, is the more complicated one. Turns out that for a frequency table, the median is the hardest one. And I'm going to hold off the explanation for that one until we actually do one. Remember, the median is the middle number. So it's the middle of the F total. That sounds way complicated, and it is. So I'll hold off on the explanation of that here in a second. The mode is easy. You find the biggest number, you subtract the smallest number. So you look at the X column and you find the biggest number and subtract the smallest column. Smallest number, sorry, I said column, I meant number. Lastly, I'm sorry, I was thinking range. I just gave you the definition of range. The mode is which one has the most. So you simply look at the F column and find which number is largest, and then you look at the X column to see what number it is. This makes a whole lot more sense when we actually do it, trust me. Lastly, okay, I'll do it right this time. The range is the biggest X minus the smallest X. This slide right here will make more sense once we actually do it. So don't panic yet. Yes, tonight they're going to ask you to make a frequency table and then find the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. So what I would rather do is simply do the math. So the mean, it says take the total of the XF column. Let's see, the XF column is 85. And it says divide that by the F column total, which is 12. 85 divided by 12. Well, 85 divided by 12, it's about 7. I'm doing some rounding there. Okay, that's really easy to do, right? I mean, it's not a big deal. And yes, you can use a calculator if you'd like. The one that is the challenging one, excuse me, the one that is a challenging one is the median. All right, now I'm going to really do this slowly. Okay, to find the median, we have to find the middle number. The middle number is somewhere over here, right? The middle number. But the problem is that some of these numbers have been repeated. So to find the middle number, it's a combination of the F column and the X column. So here's how it's done.
So wait, do we not really need the X times F column?
Not for median, we don't.
But I was just wondering because on the homework it only gives us the X and F
I
column.
know. Guess what you have to make?
Make the X
You
times
got it.
Okay.
Okay. Back to our median. So I'm gonna go away from the slide here for a second. I want you to notice that for our table, our total is a 12. I'm trying to find the median. So our number is 12. Remember from the previous 3 days, there's the column again with 12, is that when you have an even number of numbers, we don't find the middle number, we find the middle two numbers. So how do you find the median? When the total of the F column is even, you divide it by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. And we use that number and the very next number. Those would be the two middle numbers. So the 6th and the 7th numbers will be where we find the median. So now we got to find the 6th and the 7th number. Here it becomes complicated. Well, let's find the 6th and the 7th number. Okay, there's only one 4, so 4 is the first number, but there's two 5s. So the third number, where am I getting third number? Adding these two. The third number is 5. I need the 6th and the 7th number. The fourth number is a 6th, and then we got a string of 7s, right? So let's see, the 6th and the 7th number, 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 is 4. Well, I got 4 more 7s. If I had to write this out, it would go, what, 4, 5, 5, 6, and then 4 7s. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm trying to find the 6th and the 7th number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here we go. I'll do it in red here. The 6th and the 7th number are both a 7. So the middle number is 7, right? 7 plus 7 is 14, divided by 2 is still 7. So the middle number is 7. When the number is odd, hey, look, the number is odd now. Well, this one is the easier one. When the number is odd, you simply divide that number in red by 2 and then round up. So the middle number for this one is going to be the, let's see, 5.5. Round up would be the 6th number. Let's find the 6th number. Well, the first 3 numbers are 3, and then we have a 4, so the first 4 numbers are down. So the 5th and the 6th number are a 5, and I want the 6th number. Well, it's a 5. So the median is a 5. This is the hard and complicated one. Median ones are complicated. So we'll do a bunch of those. Let's get back to our problem. So to find the median, all right, it's an even number. 12 is even. So we divide that by 2. And we get a 6th. So since it's even, I want the 6th and the 7th number. The 6th and the 7th number. Now we just got to find those. So we're going to find the 6th number by using the F column. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 is 4, and then a whole bunch of 7s. So the 6th and the 7th number are both 7. Add those two together, divide by 2. 7 plus 7 is 14, divided by 2 is 7. So the median is 7. The median is the only challenging one.
Yeah, I'm still a little confused.
Okay, we have to figure out the 7th number and the 6th number. Where am I getting that from?
Why?
When the number in the F column is even, we divide it by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. And since it's even, I need the 6th and the 7th number. Why even? Well, if there's 12 numbers, right? I'm not writing the numbers. If there are 12 numbers, if I were to divide it, there would be 6 over here and 6 over here. That'd be smack dab in the middle, right? 6 on the left, 6 on the right. The median is literally the middle number. So I need to find the sixth and the, let's see, the next number wouldn't be 6. The next number would be the 7th number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the left side, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 on the right side. So the middle number would be the 6th and the 7th number. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the 6th and the 7th number. Where are the 6th and the 7th number? Well, the 6th and the 7th number go back up to your middle column. It tells you where the numbers are. The first number is a 4. The second and the third number are a 5. The fourth number is a 6. And the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th number are all 7ths. So what are the 6th and the 7th number? They're 7s. And remember when we did the median, when you have two numbers in the middle, you add them together and divide by 2. So we had 7 plus 7 divided by 2. Medians are hard. Medians are hard for frequency tables. The rest of them are easy. The next one we have to do is the mode. So Danny, look at the F column. Which number is the largest number?
I don't know. I'm still really confused.
Look at the F column and tell me the biggest number there.
4.
We look to the left. What's the mode?
7.
Done. Mean is easy. Mode is easy. And the range is easy. The only hard one is the median, and we're going to do it more times, so don't panic yet. Okay, the range is simply we look at the X column, and we literally take the biggest number. Well, the biggest number is 10. We take the smallest number. The smallest number is 4. We subtract those two numbers. 10 minus 4 is 6. So the range is 6. With the exception of the median, this is not very challenging. Median is challenging. Absolutely, positively, it is challenging. But the mean is easy, the mode is easy, the range is easy. And now all we're going to do is more examples. Just more examples. All right, so let's do another example. Here's my data set. Step number 1 is we make a frequency table. Remember, the frequency table is the easy part. The frequency table has 3 columns. The top one is your labels, X, F, and X times F. Danny said, hey, they don't give me that third column for homework. You're right. They want you to multiply X times F. At the bottom, we write the totals, and now we just plug in the numbers. To find the number you start with, we find the smallest number. Smallest number is 3, and the biggest number is what, 9? Does everybody see that? 3 and 9. So for this column right here, the X column, we simply count up 3 to 9. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The middle column, we do each number separately. We look at the first number, it's a 3. We count how many 3s there are. There's 1, 2, 3 3s. And then we multiply. 3 times 3 is 9. Stop me if you're lost. We look at the 4. There is 1 4 in my data set. 4 times 1 is 4. We look at the 5s. There are 1, 2, 3 5s. 5 times 3 is 15. There's only 1 6. 6 times 1 is 6. There's only 1 7. 7 times 1 is 7. There are, is it 1? Yeah, just 1 8. 8 times 1 is 8. And there is 1 9. 9 times 1 is 9. All right, we do have to total the last 2 columns up. So all I'm going to do is just some addition here. 3 plus 1 is 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm getting a total of 11. By the way, when the F column adds up to an odd number, life is good to calculate the median. It's only when it's even that you run into problems. The last column, we got to add it up. Let's see, that's 13 plus 15 is 28, 34, 41, 49, 58. Yes, you may use a calculator to make sure you're doing the math correctly. All right, let's see. The first thing we have to do now is do the mean. To find the mean, it's this number divided by this number. That's easy. 58 divided by 11. It's going to be a decimal answer. That's fine. We get about 5.3. So Danny, up to this point, are you lost? Okay. So I know, but I don't want you to focus on just the median. I want you to focus on up to this point. Are we okay?
Can we go over the mean again?
The mean is, you see the two numbers I circled in red?
Yeah.
It's just those two numbers divided. That's it.
Okay.
You just make notes to yourself. Hey, divide these two numbers. That's the mean. Because
Okay.
remember, the mean is all the numbers added together divided by how many numbers? Well, all the numbers added together was 58, and there are 11 numbers. So 58 divided by 11. The median is the hard one, right? This is the more easier of the two. When the number is odd, life is easy, right? So let's see. Review. If the number is odd, right, we're supposed to divide it by 2. 11 divided by 2 is 5.5, and then we round up. So 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. We round up. We're looking for the sixth number. We need to find the sixth number. All right, back to our problem. We're trying to find the sixth number. Where am I getting 6 from? 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. Round up 6. I need to find the sixth number. I find the sixth number by looking at the F column and just count up to 6. 3 plus 1 is 4. Well, 3 more would be 5, 6, 7. I'm trying to find the sixth number. So the sixth number is right there. How do I know that's the sixth number? Well, the first 3 numbers are 3. So if I had to write them out, 3, 3, 3. There's 1, 4. And then there's 5 3s. 1, 2, 3. And I'm trying to find the sixth number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bingo, bingo, 6. If you need to do what I just did to find the median, go for it. So the median for this one, well, we need to find the sixth. We found it. It's 5. So the median is 5. That's the hard one. The rest are easy. The mode. We look at the middle column again, and we find the biggest number. Well, the biggest number is, well, there's 2 3s. So the biggest number here are 3s. So the number that's the mode is 3 and 5. There's 3 3s and there's 3 5s. So the mode, remember, you could have more than one mode. The mode is 3 and 5. Easily done with a frequency table. The only one that's hard is the median. The last one is the range. Well, we find the range by subtracting the smallest from the biggest. The biggest number will always be this number. Whatever appears right here is your biggest number. Whatever number appears right here is your smallest number. So it's just 9 minus 3, which is, well, it's 6. So the range is 6.
What if the one on the, like, where you circled the 9?
Go ahead.
Like, what if the first number is
Negative?
Like the top one, that 3 is like bigger. Like it's
It won't, because remember, you're writing them from least to greatest.
Yeah.
Now, the first number could be negative, and that's fine. We just follow the rules. I mean, it could have been a negative 3. 9 minus 3 would be 12, right? So you'll still get the right answer because you put them in order from least to greatest. Okay. The median is the only one that's challenging. All right. I said we're going to do 3. We're on our third one. So this will be the last call if you're lost or something. Remember, you can play the video while you're doing your homework. All right, how am I doing for time? Okay, cool. I got 5 minutes left to do one problem. We can do this. All right, there's my data set. I make my basic frequency table. It's always the same, and then we start plugging the numbers. Before you plug in numbers, you find the smallest number. Let's see, the smallest number here is, it looks to be 11. The biggest number here looks to be 18. So I'm going to start with 11 and count up to 18. Now, occasionally, because you don't make your table big enough, I might recommend that you don't write the word total until you have all the numbers written, if that makes sense. In other words, maybe you don't put the word total in this line here until you have, all the numbers, 11, 12. Because if you write really big, you might run out of space. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm writing really big now, and I'm out of space. I'm not going to be able to fit everything in. So hold off on your line with total until you have all the numbers written in. As I said before, a graph paper does help. So 11 all the way up to 18. All right, last chance to ask questions. I'm going to move on. We'll count how many 11s there are. There's one. 11 times 1 is 11. We'll count how many 12s there are. There's one. 12 times 1 is 12. There are no 13s. Get a 0. There are, 1 14? No, there's 3 14s. All right, 3 times 4 is 12. Carry your 1. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1, 42. There is 115. We like that. There's 116. We also like that because it's easy math, right? 16 times 1. There are no 17s. Okay, we really like that one. That was easy. And what, 118? We add everything up. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 numbers. I'm not going to bore you with the math right here, but it ends up being 114. And your frequency table is done. Now we do each individual calculations. Remember, to find the mean, it's this number divided by this number. So it's 114 divided by 8. All right, you guys can do that on your own. Turns out it's 14.25. There's your mean. The median is the challenging one. It's either going to be odd or it's going to be even. Check it out. The middle column is, it's even. Right? Even is the hardest of the two. So when the number is even, we divide it by 2. That gives me a 4. So I'm looking for the 4th and the 5th number. I need the 4th and the 5th number.
Okay.
Go ahead.
What do you do for median? I'm so confused.
Step number 1. See the number I circled?
Yeah.
Divide it by 2.
Okay.
What do you get?
4.
So I need the 4th and the 5th number. Those are your middle numbers. That 8 represents how many numbers there are in the data set. There are 8 numbers in the data set. Remember, median is the middle number. When you have an odd number, you're going to get a decimal, you round up.
But what if your answer is like 15 or something, and there's only like 5
Well,
in
remember, when you're dividing by 2, right? You're either dividing an even number or an odd number. So if there's an even number, you certainly could get 15, right? But the only way you get a 15 is dividing by an even number, right? You're dividing 30 by 2. When you have an even number, you want the number and the next number. When you have an odd number, that's the one that you round, right? Those are the 2 rules. Now, it is in the slides. I would play the video while you're doing this. There's only 2 ways this happens. You're either going to have an odd number or you're going to have an even number. It's one of the 2. When you have an odd number, well, you're going to get a decimal number, and then you just round up. When you have an even number, like this one right here, an 8, whatever your answer is, you're going to write that number in the very next number. So I need the 4th and the 5th number for this one. If, for instance, we added those numbers up and we got 15, 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. So we just round up. We need the 8th number. That's not this particular case. When the number is even, our number is even, you divide by 2, and you write that number and the next number. 8 divided by 2 is 4, so we need the 4th and the 5th number. Now we got to find the 4th and the 5th number. We look at this column. Here's your first number. Here's your second number. And here are the next three numbers. Think about this. We got an 11. There's one of those. There's one 12. There's no 13s. And then there are three 14s. 1, 2, 3. And then there's one 15. And I need the fourth and the fifth number. 1, 2, 3. I need the fourth and the fifth number. They're both 14s. Do you see what I did there? Okay, so I take those two numbers, add them together, and divide by 2. 14 plus 14 is 28, divided by 2. Well, the 14th number, I'm sorry, the middle number is 14. So the median is 14. All right, that was just an explanation of odd or even. All right, so the middle number is 14. The median is the only challenging one. The rest are simple. The mode. We look at the middle column and find which number here is largest. Well, the
Wait.
largest number here is 3. We immediately look to the left. So the mode is 14.
Real quick.
Yep.
For median. So since it's divided by 4, so or 8 divided by 4 is 8
2.
divided by 2 is 4.
Yes.
And then you also just add the next number up.
We do, and that's only because it's even. Do you remember doing all the median questions last night? We had a bunch of numbers and we crossed out the first, we crossed out the last, crossed out the first. Sometimes you're left with, in this case, these numbers are not least to greatest, so this doesn't work. You're left with two numbers. Anytime that the total number of numbers is even, you'll be left with two numbers. And then you had to add the two numbers and divide by 2. Now remember, this is bad because I didn't have the numbers written as least to greatest. By the way, now I have the numbers written as least to greatest in my frequency table. So I just need to find the middle two numbers. Well, the middle two numbers are, if this is your first, second, third, remember these were the two middle numbers. First, second, third, the middle two numbers are the fourth and the fifth numbers. Well, where did I get 4 and 5 from? I took this number, divided by 2, and I got 4. So I needed the fourth and the fifth numbers. Medians are hard for frequency table. They're not hard at all to do when you have a data set. Last one is the range, and that's simply the largest number and then subtract the smallest numbers. Largest number is 18, the smallest number is 11. All right, that's the easy one. 18 minus 11 is 7. So the range is 7. We did 3 of these. And absolutely positively, right, the issues that we have is the median, and that is the more challenging one. But we did 3 examples. I would play the video for the median. It only comes in 2 flavors. Let me back up here. The 2 flavors are odd or even. When the number is even, see the middle column, 12, it's even. You divide it by 2, and you take the next number. So 12 divided by 2 is 6. So I need the 6th and the 7th number. When that middle number is odd, you still divide by 2, but you round up. So I need the middle number is either, if it's odd, it's always going to be something 0.5. So you're always going to round up to the next one.
Okay.
Okay. And that's it. I said we're going to do 3 examples, and we did 3 examples. If the only one that you have problem on is the median, well, you could always use the technique that you used on the previous one, which is put the numbers from least to greatest and then cross the numbers out. You can always use that technique. If you understood what I showed you in class, well, you can not have to put them from least to greatest. You could use this technique right here. Either technique is fine, but I will tell you they may not give you the data set. Right? In other words, they may just give you the frequency table. They may not give you this. So if they don't give you the data set, well, then you can't use that other technique. You have to use this technique. I believe there's one that they didn't give you the data set on. Okay. Any other questions? How are we on? Oh, we're out of time right now, literally. We are out of time. That's it for today. I will physically see you on Monday. I may not teach you any math because you're taking your PSAT test, but I will see you walking the hallways on Monday. So I will see you then. Have a good weekend, and then we will physically have our next math class on Wednesday. See you later.